Textiles are like the carpet of the society. There is nothing that we do that doesn't go around textile. Our homes, our offices, our what we do, where we eat, everything requires a covering. You can imagine a fashion industry that has cutoffs, or a popular designer that has cutoffs of 10% of their fabric. Now, you tell this fashion designer that this 10% cutoff is actually 10% loss from their business. And that by sitting down or recreating a unit of their business, you can be running the main business. Like,
welcome back to Just Africa. And of course, we're diving straight into the second segment of the show where we're talking textile. Yes, Africa's textile and home furnishing industry faces increasing pressure to reduce waste, adopt sustainable practices, and of course, empower local communities. We've got a very interesting personality with us, Uchenna Ibe. She's, of course, through her Ivy League collections, has pioneered circular textile economy initiatives that transform textile waste into eco-friendly home essentials. Her work not only addresses environmental challenges, but also creates employment and skill development opportunities for women across Nigeria. This episode explores how sustainable entrepreneurship can drive both economic growth and, of course, social impact. Hello, Mrs. Uchenna Ibe.
hello, how are you? Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much. I mean, I am wowed by so many things that you've done through the Ivy League collection. First off, the name. What brought about that name? Because Ivy League always tells opulence or at least high class education. How did you go about that name first?
So Ivy League Collections came about. We wanted to be a standout company with our focus on a soft furnishing and relatable home products. So we wanted to be the very best, and that's why the name Ivy League. So when you think of Ivy League universities in the US, they're talking about the best universities. So here in Nigeria, we wanted to carry that name as being the best brand for home products, and then in whatever we do, just being the best. So that's why the name Ivy League Collections.
Okay, so it doesn't mean that you cater only to the affluent and the rich people.
No, we have products in the luxury brand. We also have mass products which are excellent. So we're very pocket friendly. We're just excellent at what we do. We strive to be excellent at what we do, regardless of the of whatever anyone can afford. Whatever you get, it's still good. Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to ask, when we talk about textile, people just feel it has to be needle and thread, or it has to be just sit on the sewing machine and make some beautiful designs out of it. So some persons don't really see it as a lucrative business. So how do you make someone out there understand that this thing is putting food on people's tables and is taking women and men globally?
So when we talk about the sustainability of textile, it's a mind shift. You have to move people's thought process from seeing textile or thinking it's a business that is generated around tailoring and all of that, to something that goes beyond that. This is a part of life. You know, the textile industry, even if you're looking at the fashion industry and the interior design industry where I play in, textiles are like the carpet of the society. There is nothing that we do that doesn't go around textile. Our homes, our offices, what we do, where we eat, everything requires a covering. So I'll say the textile industry is like the foundation for human existence because it's a covering towards everything we do. There's always a need for textile. So it's a very scalable business, and it's a very interesting business as well because there's so many aspects of it. So it's very limitless. Yes, it's very limitless.
So wait, how this is your business model, right? What is it founded on? Because it looks very new. It's an innovation, but this business model, how did you learn it, and how do you plan to teach it? Because obviously that's the best way we're going to do sustainability when more people get to know about it.
Yes. When you talk about, it's a balance. What's important here is to balance profitability with environmental responsibility. So when we keep telling people about textiles and the waste and how they can make their businesses more sustainable, they don't really get it. But when you begin to shift their mindset, telling them that this thing they call waste is actually profit,
Money.
it's actually waste to wealth, then you begin to gain their interest. And that's the simple truth. You can imagine a fashion industry that has cutoffs, or a popular designer that has cutoffs of 10% of their fabric. Now, you tell this fashion designer that this 10% cutoff is actually 10% loss from their business. And that by sitting down or recreating a unit of their business, you can be running the main business. Like in Ivy League Collections, we're a B2B business, and we supply to superstores across Nigeria and Africa. And we also supply to hotels, So the hotel bedding, sometimes the hotels will ask us for cushion covers, throw pillows, and we have cutoffs from the main hotel duvet covers and bed sheets. We don't throw them away. So all you need for throw pillows is just a square, and you stuff it. So instead of throwing away those fabrics, we cut them, and then we use it to stuff the soft pillows that they also put on their cushions. So the continuous use, even the old sheets that hotels use, because we started running tailored sustainable courses, for hotels and the fashion industry. So for a hotel, we're telling you, like, your old sheets you want to throw away, and it begins to increase the environmental footprint, you don't need to throw it away. Some of them can be used for aprons for your staff. Some of them are used for laundry bags, Some are used to shine shoes and used in the laundry. Some of them are used as tents outside within the hotel when they want to cordon off some areas. So we begin to give value to what they call waste. And in shifting their mindsets, they begin to see that instead of going to the market to now buy products and say, this is a laundry basket, this is a this and this is a that, that from their old sheets, when laundered, they can still be remade and reused. And that is the traditional linear flow of circularity. You make, you take, you make, and you waste. So we stop that linear flow, and then you now change to regenerate, repurpose, recycle. And that is what the circularity economy is about.
Can we have a small industry, maybe not a very large one for a start, or maybe there is an existing industry that I do not know about yet, but can we have an industry that just focuses on what we consider as waste from the fashion houses and turn them into this? Do we have any of that such industry in Nigeria right now, or in Lagos, or do you have plans of creating such an industry?
We have different people operating at their own in their own spaces. My company is such an industry. There are also other industries, and the Lagos Business School has a sustainability center where some courses are taught, and these things are done there as well. So I think the biggest problem is Nigeria is focusing on the plastic weights and all of that. They haven't really started looking at textile as intently as they should, because you can imagine the population of Nigeria, over 220 million people. Everybody wears clothes. Everybody sleeps on a bed. Everybody, you see the use of textile. And then if you want to expand the problem from the low income earners to the highest income earners, everybody has their own type of ashwebi. And this ashwebi culture is multiplying. I had written an article about the ashwebi culture in Nigeria and how we can change the mindset, still maintain our culture, but have more of a certain kind of rentals for ashwebi. Like there's so many weddings, and then we begin to prioritize how we use and dispose textile. And the influence of fast fashion is unbelievably very, very, very negative, when it comes to fashion and the way that people perceive fashion. When you wear different clothes and you wear a lot of clothes and you're all over the social media and all that, you're seen to be doing well. So the perception that we have as a people need to be also handled. So in different pockets and in small industries, you have people who are doing their bits. But what we need is more of bigger collaborations, across fashion designers, across interior decorators and people that use textiles a lot so that you can begin to see those big companies you're looking for.
Yes.
But even in their strides, people are making impacts.
Okay. Leapfrogging that thought that you just had. Yeah, I know you are heavy on women empowerment, and because of course I've gone through some of your pages on social media, women empowerment, and of course entrepreneurship for women. How do you incorporate women into this your value chain in the business model?
Okay, so from the big, first of all, we're unapologetically at 80% almost women employed, women who are employed in our industry. And this is really for a reason.
Okay.
The way Nigeria is, the male child is always prioritized. And then when you look at the lower income earners, you find out that most of the girls, when they finish from high school or secondary school, there's always a problem of getting them into the higher institutions. So this just started. We've been in business for over 18 years, and this started just in trickles. Within the community where our factory is in Ikeja, or Egu to be precise, I started having the need to employ more girls because the tailors would work on our beddings, on our curtains and all of that. And we didn't have any unit for packaging. So I would go out to the street and I see these young girls and they're just sitting around their mothers' shops in the market doing nothing. And I started talking to the mothers. That's how we started. I said, can she come and I promise you she's safe with me. This is who I am. This is my name. Sometimes I have to ask people to follow me. And for the older mothers who speak Yoruba and I can't speak Yoruba, they have to explain to these older, local women that this is where we are. This is what we do. And then they started coming in. So the young girls started coming in. And that was the beginning of our vocational training called Living in Colors. We started bringing these young girls in, providing them with sewing machines. And before you know it, within a year or two, even 6 months of training, they're able to put money together, have their internship, and it's paid internship. They have their sewing machine and they're at home making bed sheets, stitching up uniforms, doing stuff, and their parents started referring us to other people. So we started from within our community, and then we've also upscaled it through the different platforms that I am privileged to be an ambassador. We encourage women to engage in vocational training.
Yes.
I am an ambassador for an NGO called Impact Her in Nigeria. Impact Her is in over 52 countries of Africa. I'm their Nigerian ambassador. So I use that platform to encourage women to learn. And then we started utilizing, to be able to have traction, we started utilizing, doing vocational training digitally, where we can run workshops and webinars, and then for the design parts, they have to come into the factory. So in the last 18 years, we've been able to achieve training for over 1,600 young women.
Wow.
And this is without those that we didn't document. Those initial ones we didn't document because as far back as 2003, we didn't know. We were a young business and we didn't know the importance of data and the fact that we needed to document what we used to do. So those mistakes that I made 18 to 20 years ago, I'm able to impact younger women to further enhance myself.
Yeah.
I have also attended the Cranfield University in the UK School of Management, where I did a course in Ready for Net Zero Growth, which is all about sustainability And I've also taken courses in the Lagos Business School, their leadership program for sustainable waste and sustainable waste management. So this has empowered me to be able to impact these young women. In the church I belong to, I'm also working with young women. So generally, it's been interesting. It's been fulfilling, being able to stand out and have a young woman walk up to you and say, I want to learn this. I want to do this. And the economic value of the circular economy is what you sell to them and not environmental value, because we are blessed in Nigeria. Our weather is good. We are not having too much landslides, erosions. We haven't had like environmental calamities that really make people to see.
Yes, because that is where my next question was actually going to. How do you balance profitability and environmental realities when it comes to this business?
So that's the point. You have to make them understand that they actually, you give them the economic value of the business. And this is in making them understand that this thing they're looking at as waste, this is the value. And then making them understand that the running their businesses, especially like the hotel industry that we organize trainings for, the hotel industry don't know that many people don't realize that a plate of food is more desirable to guests or having a free day in the hotel. So we have incentives that we explain to them and say, do you know that if you have cards, what we call green incentive cards, do you know that if you have cards in your room saying, put off your air conditioning each time you leave the room or each time your room is chilled, you get free dinner. It's selling like hotcake.
Yes.
And I mean, how much is a plate of food compared to how many band A units of electricity? So the hotels, and then use your sheets like 3 times before you put it out. You have the cards on the door that say, don't clean or don't change sheets. We began designing all these things. And hotels found out that their energy costs reduced by over a quarter. Some of them have energy costs that drop drastically because, the hospitality industry is one of the industries that consume a lot of power. So when people begin to understand the economic value of the circularity practices, circularity principles, at the end of the day, everybody wants to make money. So what does it really cost you to reduce this thing in order to gain the other thing? So that's what it comes down to. So for the young women, when they begin to see that creativity and uniqueness also plays a huge role in what they are doing and learning, they are very interested.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Uche. I know you have a lot to say. Just the same way we have a whole lot of questions to ask. As you want to say, we want to ask because we want to know more. Now, as beautiful as this sounds, as beautiful as it looks, the profit, the savings, turning what is considered as waste into something useful, it sounds really beautiful. But you also tell us some of the challenges that lies behind these beautiful things that you have mentioned. What are the challenges behind the circular textile?
Yeah, the textile industry is actually, first of all, is the mindset of people. They have to, we have to sell the environmental. That's where environmental sustainability comes in. The importance of where we live, how we love our earth. Even the Catholic Church has written books, encyclicals by Pope Francis and even Pope Leo, the current Pope, about the stewardship of us as human beings. So this has to be taken from all aspects, the religious aspect, community leaders, the government. Everybody has to know within themselves, like, this is our earth. We don't have any other place to exist in. So we need to take care of our earth. We're lucky in this part of the world where we don't have such terrible climate issues. But if we become careless, then we're slowly heading there. You can see the flooding in the Middle Belt. You can see all the landslide and flooding in the southern part of Nigeria. We're seeing erosion. We're seeing all of that. So deforestation, we see what's happening in the Sahel. So we all need to take care of this earth we live in. That's one, being more environmentally conscious. And then secondly, the challenges we also face is that because there isn't infrastructure or government logistics and infrastructure is another hurdle that is difficult to jump through. And then the collection mechanisms for textile are fragmented. Since it's new, like AI, everybody jumped into AI. That's how people are jumping into the circular economy as well. So the opportunity that we can get from here to overcome the challenges, support from government, being able to have infrastructure and logistics that can turn this into a very productive value chain, training and then incorporating these values in our children, not when they are now adults, so you're telling them something when they've already formed habits. So our educational curriculum, the way it is today, is a challenge for us to teach the younger generation about love for the earth, how to run sustainable and more profitable businesses. So like the French, they do it, but it didn't have a name. For years, when you hear haute couture, it's fashion. Yeah. And they cut patterns, they make specially designed things for people. So you come in, your size is taken, like some of our designers, fashion designers are doing now. The fabric is used for you. And then it's more expensive, but there is reduced waste. So they have been doing that for years. So when Nigerian fashion brands understand the concept of haute couture, to the extent that when you want to, like in the fashion, it's more difficult to do in the fashion industry because you have customers who are different sizes. So there are more size variations. But when you come to somewhere like the interior design industry, I can buy tons of fabric and I can proudly boast that in my factory, we may not have 1 meter left of waste.
Okay.
Because we have been able to document and we know exactly how many meters we need to produce a certain number of either throw pillows or curtains or bed sheets or duvets or whatever we're making. And when we finish, we will have little or no waste. Mm-hmm. So inculcating these experiences into our practices is not yet there. It's a challenge, So people need to study more. People need to be trained better, by experts, and people who have experience can always say it doesn't have to be a paid job. There are different types of gratification. You don't always have to get paid to offer your service or to create impact. Actually, impact is measured by things that you do that you haven't even been paid for. So I encourage fellow experts to come in, have seminars, free seminars, webinars once in a while, go to where it matters. It doesn't even have to be a big deal. You can walk into Tejo Show markets. You can walk into Ikeja bus stop and just gather 6 tailors and talk to them. You have made impact. Okay. So some of these challenges.
Hampering growth. I want to pick your thoughts on this Goldman Sachs 10,000 women on sustainable growth, because look, the truth is, if you empower a lot of women, they would help the economy stimulate, right? And many people do not believe it, but women also play as much impact in the economy from the small things that they do. So I am particular about empowering women, but explain some of these opportunities that exist that perhaps many of us don't pay attention to, and you're familiar with, especially from your exposure in learning some of these things from abroad institutions.
So I would actually say curiosity didn't kill the cat when it comes to me.
Okay.
Curiosity rather empowered the cat. or the woman. I call myself a continuous learner. I'm a continuous learner. I love to explore and to read and to search. I always have a lot of questions. So that natural inclination helped me when I finished school and I didn't get a job. I started building growing my young family. So I was a sit-at-home mom, and I wasn't satisfied because I had a university degree in geography and urban regional planning. I had a university degree in geography. So I was very curious. I was trained by my elder sister, who's a first-class interior designer in Enugu State. And then the little that she taught me, and with a sewing machine my mother bought for me as part of my wedding gift, I started fixing my home. I started fixing my home and fixing things, duvets, and people will come in and they will love it. So I was making duvets just from what my sister taught me, and I wanted to learn more, So I took the first 6 duvets I made back then in Nigeria. Everybody knew the store called Mega Plaza, and they were selling only electronics. We were talking about 1996 or thereabouts. And I took it to them and they said they don't sell. I convinced them to take the 6 duvets, which they took, and they sold it that same evening. So they were calling me. I didn't give an invoice. I didn't know how to run a business. I didn't have an invoice. I just lifted them from the boot of my car, paid a guy 200 naira to take it up the store. And that's how I delivered those first 6 duvets that opened my eyes. So through time, I came home. My husband said, "So did they pay you?" I said, "No." He said, "So where's the money?" I said, "I just gave them." He said, "You just gave them?" And, that was like, we have to register. This thing is no more a hobby. It's now a business. So you have to register it. So that's when the curiosity came in. I started self-developing. So I said, I have to do an MBA. I looked online. I didn't even look at the Nigerian universities because I was so curious. I wanted to really establish myself. And I did an MBA with Walden University, and that was 22 months. And I had 3 little kids to take care of. After that, my eyes opened. I needed more. So I kept joining women entrepreneurship groups, like the Impactor I told you about. Impactor has 2 trainings every week, online trainings that help women to learn how to establish their businesses, everything that concerns a business, from digital marketing to financing to financial management to everything. Impactor does it for free. And I've established Impactor. They do it for free, and I've established Impactor in 11 states of Nigeria. Wow. The founder is Efe Ukala. That's the name of the founder of Impactor. It's an NGO, and we've established it in 11 states of Nigeria, and the women are being impacted. Then the Goldman Sachs program also came on. I was selected. I was curious. I looked and saw online that they had another online business education for women. I enrolled for their 10 courses, finished the courses. I got my certificate, and then they invited me into the community. Right there in the community, I was active. So I would say to women, wherever you are, don't shy away from responsibility. So they asked, are you a business owner? Can you mentor other women? I said, yes. So from mentoring other women, I became a Goldman Sachs community mentor. From mentoring other women, they made me a Goldman Sachs champion, community champion. From mentoring other women, I am now a Goldman Sachs Growth Fellow. And I think across the world, we're not up to 100 Growth Fellows. There are just 3 in Nigeria. And then currently, I am designing, I'm taking women business groups and women alumni to Goldman to have for free. Goldman Sachs online program is going to train them for free in everything business, So this is like getting an MBA for free. Okay. And I share the link as much as I can and encourage women to join. So right now, WIMBIZ of Nigeria is going to come on board. I've introduced WIMBIZ to Goldman Sachs. They're going to train women in WIMBIZ. They're also going to train women of my alma mater, Federal Government Girls College, Owerri. Goldman Sachs, they're also going to be trained at the Goldman Sachs online education program for women in business, paid and unpaid. So I use my social media handles all my social media handles, and we also have other women who like to share. So what basically I would say to any woman is don't be by yourself. Go out there, watch television, look at the internet, not just browsing to see who is wedding or what they are wearing. Go to the internet, use Google and search for events happening in your neighborhood. Attend free webinars, attend seminars. When you begin to search, the Bible says, if you seek, you shall find. And when they begin to seek, they will find. But it's not going to drop into anybody's laps. You have to seek. So these are, the social media is a very strong tool for people who want to know. So, the way Google is, let's say you're interested in entrepreneurship, free training for female entrepreneurs. All you need to do is to put it into Google or any of the AI tools, and it tells you what is happening right, even on your street, that you're not aware of. So women who want to make progress, first of all, their mindset has to be directed towards what their goals are, and they have to begin to empower themselves. Collaboration is also key, both in the church, in your neighborhood, because everybody you meet has something to offer, and you as a person also has something to offer. So they need to proactively seek, and they will find.
What are your plans? Your future plans for the textile industry, especially coming from what you do with the circular economy?
Future plans.
Okay, so what I'd really love, I hope I can still achieve it, is to have one of Africa's best repurposing and recycling units for textile. Because I have seen in France, infrastructure is a problem. Finances are limiting. But even if I don't achieve the waste management plans, I want to be able to say that I've impacted thousands of women. We can expand our training, we can expand our vocational training, skill acquisition and all of that, have a hub and be able to establish hubs in the geopolitical zones of Nigeria. At this point, there's so much one can focus on. I've built a business, is running, but I am more passionate about advocacy and using my voice to share information, just like your colleague asked me, how do women get information? Because truly people perish for lack of knowledge. There's so many things that happen around you, but if you don't know, it will just pass you by. So advocacy, I'm very, very strong and very inclined to advocacy. So I'm going to expand my advocacy across Africa to the globe. I already have partnerships. God has made it possible that I have partnerships. I have people who I've collaborated with who are willing to help women entrepreneurs in Nigeria, and we're making it work. And for the business, Nigeria is 230 million people rich. I don't know how Ivy League collections will be able to serve their needs. So we'll continue expanding. Yes. We'll just continue growing and making sure that our products are actually Ivy League collections.
All right. Thank you very much. There is a question that has been bothering my mind all this while. When you look at our roads now, you will not see iron on the road anymore because of those who pick irons from the road and they sell them. Like you mentioned earlier, plastics are also gradually moving away. Now, do you think that for the circular textile industry, do you still expect that people should go on the streets and look out for clothes that are considered no longer useful or considered as rags? Because some of these clothes can actually be turned into rugs and so many other things. Do you think we need to go into that before our environment can be clean, or is there a particular model that you feel that women can use to get these clothes that are considered waste in the society?
Yes, there is waste right in our homes. There is so much waste. We don't, for the fashion industry, we need to keep the products. We're very selective. with the textiles that you remake and reuse or repurpose for human use. So we don't pick clothes on the streets for people to use. Applying circular economic principles, they are called collection points. So, like a fashion designer can bring a big container, and all her cut 1 yard, half meter, they are folded and dumped there neatly. They are not dirty. They are reusable, and when the clothes are made, somebody can wear them conveniently. Then some other ones that may be old or dusty are first laundered. They are first laundered before they are used if it's going to be worn by people. Remember, these textiles don't only go in clothing as well. They go in home products and accessories like bags. We use denim, jeans to make handbags and tote bags. Bags that ladies can take to the salon. You can use an old pair of jeans, 2 colors, and create something beautiful. And everybody's asking, where did you get that bag from? And combine it with Ankara. So the clothes that are now picked, that are dirty, that collectors can pick in dump sites are the ones that are used for paving the roads. They're not used for human consumption. Human consumption, I mean, human beings don't use them or wear them. Yeah, so there are different categories of waste. Just like when you see the PEP bottles, there are some that are not used for rebottling things, and there are some that are used to make even plastic chairs for the parks and for schools, and they totally break them down. But most of them go through a purifying process. Because you can't give people things that are dirty and unhygienic to use. So even in the textile business, you have different grades of cut-offs. So that's why we call them cut-offs and not waste. Yeah, and they're in different categories.
All right, thank you very much. So looking at the policies guiding the textile industry, the circular textile industry right now, do you think the policies are favorable? Is it helping the industry to grow? Or it is just one of those policies that are written on paper and we don't see results or implementations?
No, we have to pass, for Nigeria, we have to go beyond policies that are on paper. Government has to give green incentives, both in loan and funding. Government has to fund, provide for infrastructure, and also have favorable policies for companies who are, they're called green loans. Companies who are practicing sustainability, they have to have tax cuts. They have to enjoy some incentives to encourage them. So this is where government comes in. So government policies will also affect this thing. So you see some countries like Rwanda, South Africa, Ghana, Kenya. These are the African countries that are really moving ahead when it comes to sustainable practices in their policies. So especially like in Rwanda, you can't use they don't want to see a nylon bag anywhere. They don't use nylon bags. It's paper bags that are used in Rwanda and jute bags. So that alone, if Nigerian government can enforce it in the 36 states of Nigeria, and then those textile companies that are making, those recycling companies that are making the nylon bags, they start paying heavy duty, or their taxes are higher. And then those who are more eco-friendly get tax cuts, And then there's something that is called manufacturer responsibility, manufacturing responsibility, where the manufacturer, from the time you make anything, you're responsible for it till the lifeline of that product. So when you put it, like Coca-Cola has that responsibility. So Coca-Cola and Pepsi, they make PEP bottles, right? And then before it was clogging everywhere. But you see now, Coca-Cola is one of the companies in Nigeria that's championing sustainability. They are also into the recycling of these bottles, you see? So they make them, they recycle them, and they are also environmentally responsible for making sure that they reduce the carbon footprints that this particular product they make has on the environment. So
All
if government has tax incentives, has policies that are favorable to people that practice sustainability, then you begin to see that the sector is more attractive and infrastructure is provided as well as logistics.
So we're wrapping up, and I want to give you I want you to give us your final thoughts. But this one, I want that thought to go to somebody who wants to be an entrepreneur, because the truth of the matter is we need more entrepreneurs, more business ideas, so the economy can grow. So I want you to advise that young woman out there who probably has a business idea but does not know how to put it together. I'd give her that advice from your own experience.
I have a book that is coming out. It's called Living in Colors, and it's based on the onion chronic principle my grandmother taught me. In all of us, especially women, we're like onions. We're like the onion. We have different layers to ourselves. Every layer is a new you. Every layer is a new capacity that God has deposited in you. The outer layers are challenges that are rough, and you don't know what to do about it. And if you can fight through that flaky outer area, you begin to see the freshness, the innovation that you have. Every layer that you unpeel is a new level of you. Women are gifts that keep on giving. That is why they are co-creators with God. So God knows the capacity that women have, that He has deposited in us. We're very intuitive and we're multitaskers. You give a woman 10 naira, she'll make a pot of soup that looks like it's 100 naira.
Exactly.
So we're the helpmate of the man. And every woman should continue to uncover herself. If you have an idea, continue to pursue it. Continue to go for your dreams, and don't think because it hasn't evolved yet, you haven't made it yet, that you cannot make it. And if you continue, even till the age of 100, a woman is still a gift that keeps on giving. So that idea that you have, continue to grow it, continue to nurture it. And if you feel restrained or incapacitated because you don't have the resources or whatever, always have the mind to serve, to learn. Our culture here, most young women, they don't want to serve, they don't want to volunteer. Even in activities in the community or church, they want to be paid. You can't be paid all the time. Offer yourself, and because when you offer yourself in service, you learn.